Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I was up early. I do have a lot on my mind, and I thought, why lay there, right? So I had like my exercises done right after 7 o'clock, about a quarter after or 20 after, somewhere around in there. So yeah, feeling pretty good. I got oh a lot I want to accomplish today, but I thought I'd get my video done early because I'm going to be talking about the push and pull tactics of the narcissist and different scenarios that we might encounter in our life if you are protecting yourself from that dark force energy that is conducted through people that I don't consider entirely human. And that's who I don't care who thinks what. This is my thoughts. So, no offense, or yeah, to offend, whatever. Just a minute. Cheers. Say if it's we'll just use a mom for example. Say like if you're a cheery type person and like one day you get up and you're like, "Mom, good morning," and she's like, yeah, all snarly and whatever, you know. This is a narcissist now I'm talking about, not a normal human being that might be having a bad day. This is their persona. That's who they are. But when they want to try and butter you up, like the love bomb stage when you first meet somebody and you connect and you think things are wonderful till you get to know them. Okay, so this thing, say this mother is like that, like every day. But then they know that you're catching on to them. So it might be, oh, the next day they'll get up, and before you have a chance to say anything, you might not even want to confront them because you know that you're going to be um, faced with this abnormal look and that vibe that they give off. It just oozes off them like um, icky stuff. So the next day you get up and she'd be like, "Well, good morning," you know, and you're sitting there looking at it like, okay. So say this goes on through your childhood, it's the push pull tactics. It's a tactic, you know. After you get to really know people like that, it's a tactic. We'll use a friend now. We'll use a friend for an example like that. Do you ever have one of them friends where you really have a good time with them? I mean, you really laugh hard. But then, just out of the blue, like, say if it's a woman friend, I've had this happen. And the next thing I know, this thing, trying to make a joke out of it, is calling me a bitch, you know. Well, first off, a friend's not going to do that. I don't live in the type of culture that uses derogatory terms towards other people by a way of conversation. It's not my style. And somebody like that deserves to have their ass beat. But the best thing to do is separate yourself. And I mean, even if it happens once, it's not a mistake, you know. Or if you're socializing online and people draw you in with their charms. They're like, oh, yeah, they seem to be such a nice person. But then, like, once a week or once a month, they get this bug up their and they can't pull it out, and they want to make you as miserable as they are. That type of person, that's a push pull narcissistic tactic, you know. And I will distance myself from that type of people. It's hard to detect sometimes, but uh, now we'll use intimate partnership example. Just a minute, I gotta light a cigarette for this one. And for the record, if a man friend of mine called me a nasty name like that, I would fight you. For the record, I'll tell a woman to leave because there's no match there. But I'll fight a man if you have nasty words for me. You'll get hurt. So anyway, um, say you're in a relationship and they act charming at first, of course. But the minute you move in together or you have like a ring on your finger or God forbid you have children, and that can keep you entrapped in a situation that you might not want to be in. But they use the same tactics, like they love you one day and then they don't love you the next, because their actions do speak louder than words. I mean, I don't have to go into all the intimate details of how somebody will be nasty one day and or sweet one day, nasty the next. You see, people that have been affected by narcissism, whether you were discarded or you discarded them, which um I see it like this. I discarded people, yes, but I had already been discarded and degraded. So I really didn't do that. Like for people there, like feel your hearts are sore because you feel like you were discarded or something by a narcissist. Um, your heart was already discarding what they were laying down anyway. If you see my meaning, the stage was already there. It was there from the beginning. You or I just didn't know it because we didn't know this, what they call a mental illness, I call evil. And, I'm not going to debate that with anybody because I know better. And now I'm going to go into a subject. I ran across a channel I've got to investigate a little bit more, but I subbed to it just on this premise alone. The fact that he was talking about, like, when he expresses his anger, just like if he were to express his joy, he's not fake about it, you know, like he doesn't feel like lesser of a person. That isn't what got me. It's when he said he's not. I'll paraphrase here, but he doesn't believe that we're all in this together, that we're all one. And let me explain a little more on that. No matter where your outlook is on this situation, you could be in a group of Satan's minions where you actually are all one. You have to be. It's like many people trying to come against me. You have to have many people because you cannot do it alone. So, no, we're not all one. There are two different types of human beings on this planet. Oh, yes, there is. They're humanoid, but they don't belong here and they are not true humans. And you can tell who they are. There's nothing there. They're empty vessels. Even the scriptures say there are empty vessels, soulless people to be destroyed in these times, or whatever times we think it's in. Oh, and for the person that wanted me to get my guitar out, I already did that about 5 years ago. I might again, but if you want to hear me, I mean, even with my broken shoulder, it was hard because, well, I have several guitars, but I have one that I'm trying to get ambition to work on. It's just that because the bridge broke, long story, but anyway, my acoustic one is really big and it does sort of hurt my shoulder. But if you want to hear me play, I have one that I would recommend. I made a playing along with Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here is my recommendation. I'm in a crappy room because I took a room that was unfinished in our house and moved in it so I could be left alone as much as possible. So, and I've been alone in my house, different rooms, but this one is bigger and I just wanted to make it my own. I still have a lot of work, but you'll see my crappy walls. I actually quilted my room with material that I had, as you can see. So some of it I have like paneling on like a 4 foot chunk in another area, and I just have to get more materials. Now I can afford it a little more than I could when I was trying to find some pieces of quiet in my life. So, yeah. But yeah, I have my song Wish You Were Here. Um, you might enjoy that. And I might pull out my guitar for a special reason, but I have to see. I'm not going to bow to anybody's whims until I see the integrity of taking my time for somebody else that may be pushing and pulling me. So I'm leery and I'm very selective in my friendships. Very. I'd rather be alone than settle for less than what I want in my life out of a friend, a child, a parent, a sibling. I do not fucking care who you are. If you don't live up to my expectations, I do not want you in my life. Unless you're a grandchild or a little kid, you know. But besides that, hit the road. I don't fucking care. And I don't care what anybody thinks about my feelings about we're all in this together. Good for you. Have fun. I'm independent and I have a soul and I carry somebody else's heart too. So so carry on with your simple ways. You don't feel like we're all gods, but we're all connected. Get a fucking grip. Does that confusion just in one sentence kind of speak to the mindset of the world? Yeah. You're all narcissists too, playing games with the wrong people. So, and I do say people. Yes, not all humans are people. That's what I'm saying. And you can think different. I don't care. I really don't. I had a just a funny thought there for a second. Nothing that I wouldn't be able to tell you, but um, another day. It's too off topic. But anyway, oh, just a minute. I'll take a drink of my coffee. I'm in one of my moods where I could easily fight today and have no qualms about it. So, you know, I am a lover, not a fighter. But when I have this feeling brought out of me by other people, it's a struggle. And it's not one that I really feel like struggling against in my life anymore. So um, I just might let her rip one of these days. I might jeopardize my freedom to beat somebody's, just slap the fuck out of them. I don't think they could handle the rest of my body, but just a good fucking slapping, excuse me. Excuse me, everybody. Yeah. Somebody said I have big palms. Yes, I'm well proportioned for my size. I'm 5'9 1/4. I don't have tiny feet or tiny hands. Well, you know, I fit me, you know. I wouldn't want, if I had smaller hands with my arms, it would look really weird, you know. I fit me, so I'm glad. Yeah. Plus, if I'm gonna punch somebody, I actually don't use my knuckles, but I could if I did, it'd be like that, you know, like that. But that would be foolish. Why hurt your hands, you know, when you have other ways of doing what you gotta do, you know? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even use my hands. Maybe like a backhand. Anyway, that's dangerous too, though, because most of your veins are on the top of your hand exposed, you know? So if you're going to actually use your hands, you're better off using the side of your hand. If you've developed that at all, depends on the muscles in your hands, if you actually have muscles in your hands. A lot of people don't. You should have seen Doug's dad. He had a grip, a iron claw grip right up into his 70s. Dude was strong, about 6 foot something, and yeah, lean, but yeah, very strong right up into his older age, beyond most people, you know. If you're stronger than people when you start out and you never stop developing that, you're probably gonna die very strong too. I mean, like, yeah, anyway. I don't know. I just know old timers that were like cutting wood and building houses and, all kinds of stuff right up into their older age. So why stop? Once you stop, no matter what age you are, if you were active and then you stop being active, you're just a recipe for death right then, you know? This guy I was listening to, he said he was born with rage. I don't know. Maybe. If you're a totally dark soul, I could maybe, or if you believe that maybe you were like a walk-in, maybe you're a dark entity that came into a human body and you were angry because you were put here. Maybe. But I believe that children are born innocent unless you're of a bloodline that perpetuates the darkness in people, which could be a thing too, and there could be a spark of light in you that um, um, their bloodline, your bloodline, might reject you for that. I don't know, but I don't believe that babies are born with rage on their first breath and first year, maybe. I don't think so. It could be developed in you at a very young age. I've had my rage, but my joyfulness in my life is there every day. So I don't know, because I can get pretty rageful if that's pulled out of me. And I hate the people that pull that out of me. I haven't used that word for a long time because it's so taboo. But then I tell people, yeah, you're Christian. Then go look up the things that God hates. And he tells you to hate what he hates. But not the people, right? Because we fight against principalities. Wake up call. Satan is on this planet just because he's the principality of the air doesn't mean he's not in a human body. I work in the ether. Does that mean I'm not human? I'm not the prince of it. I don't need to be. I don't even want to be. You know, principalities. We fight against principalities in human bodies. People are like, oh, they're off world, like they're floating around little bubbles. And no, they're bound here. And they're pissed about it. Or not. Maybe not. But they're definitely jacking your airwaves and playing with your molecules, you know. That's how they take precedence or principle over you because you don't know how those particles that stick you together can be uh, injected with different things from your body and the air. Even people that practice yoga, you think you know what those chakras are doing. You think you know yoga. If you really knew yoga, you wouldn't have to practice anything. Just like meditation. Practice. Wow. It's like my guitar. When I took guitar lessons or my flute, I practiced. Then what? Is it practice when you accomplish? You know? There's certain things, natural things people do. It doesn't take practice. It doesn't take a guru to tell you how to be a natural human being. It's like it's all inside of you. It's like if you know that you have to stretch your body, you feel like you have to yawn or you have to stretch, you're going to naturally do that. You don't need somebody to guide you through that. I mean, it doesn't hurt, don't get me wrong, although it might because there is a certain practice of it's sun salutation, and that is going to open your chakra to the dark force. And yeah, I know because I started practicing yoga at 15. That's a long time ago. And I know just what I'm talking about. I've experienced what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying it, you know. So I don't care who says what. Like I know this one Mason, he's like, yeah, Mesa. Pew. Um, he's like, yoga, this and that. Okay, boy. That's all I got to say. I know better about all that. So you don't have to practice any kind of craft if you're a naturalist. If you let the Almighty Spirit, the real Spirit of Christ work in you, um, if you wield that for yourself, you don't have to listen to anybody because you have constant guidance, you know? All these people writing books and telling you how to do this or that. Yeah, it's nice to get in communities and be able to find like-minded people and our interests and, things we love to do, you know. But to actually have somebody write a manual of some sort, like this One Love movement and the rest of it. Yeah, love is cool up to a point, you know. So I really can love and hate somebody at the same time. If the hate's there, I do not want them around me, and I'm not going to give them any of my time, you know. I know I saw somebody making a video trying to bait me into their bullshit. No, I'm done with you. The door is closed. Period. I gave warnings after warning after warning. Bait me in, act like a dick. You lost. I'm done with it. I don't play that push pull bullshit. You don't do that to me. It's not free. I told you what was going to happen to you, and when it happens, you're going to realize that you've with the wrong person. What I put in the ether for your karma that some people don't believe in, and some people know that it's real. So I don't care. I'm done. So I see another video with you fucking trying to demean me on there, and I'll put some more shit out in that ether for you. You better stop, because you don't want people thinking bad about you. I mean, um, it's one thing if they're thinking bad about you and it isn't true, that's on them. But if they're thinking bad about you and you deserve it, they're directing energy towards you. And I don't want to do that. But when I see somebody trying to bait me into watching their bullshit, your slut fest fucking shit, it's not going to work. I'm a loyal friend till I'm not, for the record. And I'm the most loyal, honest friend you'll ever meet in your life. But you don't play with me, and it's not free. You'll find that out. Try me. So anyway, yeah, I don't do that love bomb, discard, bullshit with these monsters anymore. Yeah, we can prove to each other that we can be a good friend or not, you know? But I don't do this shit like I'm in a good mood one day and not mind my manners when I'm dealing with other people's feelings. I don't do that to people. And when I detect that in you, I'll try and figure it out. I will figure it out. And then I'll deal with what needs to be dealt with, you know? And if you want to come up against my mind, I wouldn't suggest it's a very good idea. Once again, I started studying the human mind when I was a little kid. Literally. I did try to read Sigmund Freud when I was little, but it was way too much. But we had all these other types of books for psychology and children and Dr. Spock. I mean, the whole thing, all of it, even more than what you would know, um, because of being adopted. They had these children's books that they used to sit me on their lap and read me this shit. It was almost like a manual of how to raise a child masonically. Yeah, they were written by the Masons. So then I started reading them all by myself, and then when I did get older, I did read Sigmund Freud before I was 12. This is all after I overcame dyslexia. Yeah, so, and then it just progressed from there. So I really will dissect your brain and pull it out and hand it right back to you. If I can't win your heart, I'll dissect your brain. Makes sense to me. How about you? So, yeah, don't, for people that feel like they've been discarded, there isn't a discard stage. It, it wasn't anything to begin with. It's like when you're communicating with a liar. Nothing's true. The whole conversation, it's mute. It doesn't matter because it's fake from the beginning. So you can't be discarded from something that's fake because you didn't know any better, you know? So whether you were discarded or you did the discarding, it was all based on emptiness to begin with. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you got your heart hurt, um, and it can happen in friendships too. I mean, the trust factor, that's a hard thing to overcome when you've been in some traumatic situations, you know, and letting down your guard for other people can be a dangerous thing for your heart. You have to have thick skin and be a super warrior, if you actually have a heart. If you're a narcissist or something like that, it's not going to affect you like a real human being, you know? So I'm really careful. I'm leery with everybody like that. So I might play some music one of these days. It's not going to be for a while. I just have too much going on in my life, you know, too much that And I'm taking my time doing it for once in my life. I'm doing things for me, not anybody else. And I don't want to obligate my time or my intentions towards anything. I don't want to be put on a timeline or feel any pressure about anything like that. I won't allow it. So it's like learning different languages. I'm kind of juggling too right now. Um, I'm taking my time, and that's what I need to do for me because I have so many things that I do at one time in my life. It's not just like, well, like if I bake or if I'm working on a part of my house or whatever it is. I have too many projects going on to obligate myself to more in my life at this time. And I don't want any pressure from anybody else in any area. I'll attack back if I get pressurized. I'll pop. So, just for the record there, you know, word to the wise. Don't push me. People want to push you, but they don't like it when you push back, you know, especially if you can push pretty hard in the right spot because you can size them up better than anybody. You know, I have a gift. That's knowing everybody, no matter what games they play. Yeah. No, one of them people you can just look in their eyes. If you can look in their eyes because they're scanning your soul and they know you no matter what you say, you know. Okay. So yeah, I've given too many people with uh, lesser abilities a chance to do what they want to do, and now it's my turn, and that's how I operate. So yeah, I give people the chance to get close to me. Sometimes only once. If they're a good enough actor, you might capture my attention for a while, but it probably wasn't as long as what you thought because after a while there was something else, like with a friendship. It's like, okay, I'm going to wait to deal with this. I do want to see how far this person is actually going to go. And then I'm going to encourage them to sort of relax with their bullshit before I attack. I'm going to give them a lot of rope. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes it's just like you're out of here right away. Depends. Might just depend on the mood I'm in, whether or not I take time to play with somebody or not, you know, or if they're using me and they pretend like they're not, then I don't pretend at all and I really get brutal, but I'll make them like me at the same time. When you are raised by people that pride themselves in mind control and dark arts, you learn a different way um, of being. It's a natural thing. It's not something you have to practice, you know, whether people think it's witchcraft or using the ether or whatever. I did master it. And the masters are afraid of me, or were and are. My middle name is Susan, but they call me Trouble. Wonder why that is. Yeah, well, damn. I don't like them either. They troubled me. And now they're going to pay for bothering me. Yeah, if they haven't already. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that push-pull thing and the discard. There's no discard. There's nothing there. You know, they're empty shells of what should be and just isn't. You know, whether or not they're going to have to participate in more of this in their existence, that's yet to be determined. But yeah, yeah, I just keep thinking if it wasn't for the good souls in this world, um, well, anyway, yeah, life goes on. Life goes on. I mean, and one more thing, real quick, I'm going to touch on is people and their fear tactics, all the stuff that's always going on in the world. It's always going to be something, this group, that group, these people fighting those people, and they're always mentally ill. They're sick like that. Just don't participate in any of that type of shit. If you're going to fight people, be independent about it. A one-on-one situation. Don't join groups to do this or that, or, you know, just don't do it. It's not worth your time. If you got a beef with somebody, you bring it up with them, to them, you know. I've had people try and torture me for what other people have done to them. It's like, that's just not cool, you know. And I am in a fighting mood, so whatever. Today, I'm still having a good day, and nobody's going to guilt trip me on it, you know. So I'm going to let you go. There is going to be some noise, so have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.